Welcome to the Heartwork Podcast, where we delve into stories, struggles, and triumphs of entrepreneurship, leadership, and personal growth. I'm Dr. Sarah.
And I'm Dr. Marisa. We're here to guide practitioners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and those just navigating the complexities of life on a journey of discovery that explores the dance between passion and strategy, heart and hustle.
With candid conversations, insightful interviews, and plenty of laughs, get ready to uncover how leading with heart can transform your business and life. Let's dive in.
Closing out this year, I was really reflecting back to where we were a year ago. And a year ago at this time, I had just hired 2 new team members, thinking oh my gosh, we're gonna have to get ready. The start of 2024's year was so crazy out of control. So in order to kind of prep for the team, I wanted us to be able to have CAs available, and we had another team member who was going to be having a baby soon, and I knew that they weren't going to be a part of our story and journey anymore. I knew that I was going to hire an associate at some point the next year, and so I had hired 2 team members, and then January of 2025 happened. I ended up firing one, mutually decided to separate with another just because of life and stuff happening, and then also a lack of for lack of a better word, lack of performance and engagement and excitement and energy in the other. And there was also so much in 2024 that I learned about managing team, and also specifically managing part-time team, that I really embodied and carried into 2025, that once those 2 other team members left in January, early February time, this has been the longest year that I've consistently had the same amount of team members. We haven't had a lot of students working in our office. Now we had one student doctor, almost full doctor and graduated, Rose, who's just such a blessing to have in the office. But really, we've just tidied up what's a shadow experience, what's an employee experience, what's a team experience. And it's been so fun to operate the business and lead team that's been there for all of them now have been there for a year, if not 2 or more years. And so it's so fun when you get to just exist in your business with people that you've built rapport with and relationship with and have learned from, and can also now have moved through our training process, and can also now help us continue to optimize what we do and put more of their personality and flair into what we create and embody as a business. That's probably been one of the biggest enjoyable things, I think, of 2025, is really when you do have those seasons of flow with team and established team. I think a lot of magic can happen in the business, and a lot of refinement can actually happen in the business, because it just came at such a pivotal time, because when we opened, it was startup phase, right? And you're just trying to figure out how to survive, how to get to the next month, what the rhythm is. You're training and learning as you go. Then you get to that, and I don't know, Sarah, is it, maybe it's that 2 to 5 year time frame where it's okay, we're really moving out of full startup now, especially if your business is growing and is continuing to have success, and you can get into more of those I don't know, just purely it just you can ride it a little bit, and you go from that startup into more of an established business essence and feel. The community knows it. It's more of a staple in the area now. It's just been really fun to engage with that. And I, having owned my first practice, which was just for, when we were actually open and operating, just for 7 months prior to then just the startup and build up to that with Homestead, I've gotten to experience that startup, and now I get to experience more of the scaling and the refining stage. And it's been really fun to be able to do that with the same group of individuals and people, because of the way that I lead myself and the way that I've grown as a leader, and have also poured that back into team and been really specific and honoring to what that looks like, and continue to own my own stuff as I've also grown over this last year, which I think is also a testament to having that boundary and also more of the stability, I would say, with team over the last year. And I kind of alluded to like the student stuff, and it can kind of tie into the clientele of like, I allowed anyone and everyone who wanted to be in my business an opportunity to be in my business, regardless of what that meant for the actual business and the ambiance and the connectivity of my team's cohesiveness. And the
Okay.
more that we've grown and the more that we have stepped into more of scaling because we are moving out of that startup phase, the more I don't want to say strict, but the more intentional, I guess, I've been around boundaries of like who really can be present in our office and what does my team need? What do our clients need? It's the same thing with allowing
Mhm.
people that want to come into your business and utilize your service. When you start, a lot of times you're like, the red rope is low. You're allowing anyone and anyone to come in because you're wanting to get exposure, you wanting to get reps under your belt, you're wanting to get experience, and you're wanting to grow, obviously. And then you get to a point
Mhm.
where naturally, like if you're busy, you just don't have the time to serve and take care of everyone. And so the red
Yeah.
rope gets a little bit higher. Maybe prices go up. Like the value for your time is higher. The training that you've done is higher. The investment in leadership and in team and in mentorship is more. And so is the service and the experience that you provide. And there's real results and testimonials and social proof out there for what it is that you do and provide. And so I feel like that piece is such an important one for a lot of new business owners and new people to leadership and like leading other people and teams. It's so different when it's you and a spouse or just you and one other person. But when you're truly
Mhm.
navigating 6, 7 different personalities and students and people that want to come and shadow and interns and.
Yeah, I think like everybody when you are building something and you're creating something, you do it from such a where you are in that current moment. I think that's like the coolest invitation is like you can't be somewhere that you are not there yet, right? And so it's like you can't literally launch yourself 20 years ahead. You can't rewind and go back to where you were. So the invitation is just truly the only place that you are is where you are. And the opportunity to know it's like when you were literally creating something, creating a business and building leadership, for one, as we always say, it always starts with you and the opportunity to understand how you infuse and literally bleed into every aspect of your team and your business. And it truly is. It's wild to like look back. Like, so I've been doing it now for 10 years. It's so crazy. The evidence of like, again, when I first started, I had 3 team members with me when I first opened my doors. And I felt like whenever you've talked about startup, I feel like my startup went out the window after 1 year because we like grew so fast. And, but then all of a sudden, when you grow so fast or you hit these momentous moments, all of a sudden it's like, but now how do we actually like build a team to be able to allow this to continue to grow? And how do you continue to create opportunities so that I'm not just like a freaking workhorse all day long? And also my woundings, at least at that time, were very much like mothering, caretaking my team. So then in turn, I was incredibly exhausted and resentful to people and individuals on my team. And so it's wild to, like, definitely see all of that and also just know, like I have so many people ask me this all the time, like, "How do I become a better leader?" And it really does come with the evidence of just doing it, but then the reflection of, like, you knowing who you are as a leader in that space and who you are when you come up against the things that are difficult and hard, and also celebrating the things that are magical and beautiful at the same time. Because it really like, when you get to a stage of I love what you said about realizing, like, even within your business, you may have a niche. Maybe you are just, let's say, in the chiropractic world, that you love pediatrics, prenatal, and like family chiropractic, or you are somebody that just like, I'm a sports chiropractor through and through, and you have your niche. I was very similar when I opened my business. I was like, I didn't necessarily want a niche. I wanted to be able to see anybody and everybody because I wanted to be able to be a place to where there wasn't a high rope to it. Like you said, like the high red rope. It was literally like open door, here we go. But that affected so much, not only our pricing, that affected my team that I also utilize. Like it magically, or it did the work to be able to create a lot of momentum, and it created a lot of tension at the same time. And then Again, also the coolest permission as you continue to like move along the way, you do have the opportunity to be able to re-engage what it is that you want to do and who you are and your vision to change and your branding to change and like all of that as well, because we are always in motion and moving. And we got to a stage, at least for us, about 5 years in, where it was kind of like, all right, all I'm doing is I'm taking care of a lot of pregnant moms. I'm taking care of a lot of babies because we are a women owned business and this is just who we are. And it's naturally like who has been attracted to us without us necessarily doing the work to make that attraction.
Mhm.
And also had gone through, I almost like weeded out all my early team at the time. I like weeded out all of the unhealthy things that I had put into hiring team, worked through some of the most difficult team members, worked through the most difficult scenarios, and learned a lot through that as well. Um, and along with hiring some of the people that have literally been with me now for 7, 8 years, and so, which is incredible. But you really get to this point where even then, we started to niche ourselves not only just as a practice and said, okay, we really are more of a prenatal pediatric practice. So why don't we just roll with this and actually be very specific to this? Doesn't mean I won't ever see a male and won't ever see a dad or I won't ever see a grandpa or grandma, like, but it's not who we necessarily are putting out to attract. And that also 100%, like, I literally told somebody over a couple days ago that I feel like my width of grace and love and care hasn't necessarily shortened, but the shortenness have been of like I'm not the tolerance, I guess I should say, the tolerance to which I'm willing for things, especially on a team side of things, to allow it to affect my business has 100% shortened. I will 100% still be a very kind, very generous boss. I just know that because it's just who I am. But my width of how it affecting who I am and where we're going 100% is shortened for the sake of sometimes there's people not going to be on your train for where you're going next. They are there for a purpose, for a reason, and for a season. And sometimes those individuals need to get off. We've talked about that. If you want to go listen to that train analogy, it's a great episode when it comes about people getting on and off your bus. There's always seasons of that.
I think that's lessons in letting go, by the way.
Great. Lessons in Letting Go is a great episode to go check out for if you are really working with people that are coming on and off your train, and on and off your journey, because I know that can also be difficult to have to navigate at the same time. So, yeah, I would just agree with you. Where things are going and where you are, there's going to be people, and you're always going to truly scale yourself, but you're also going to scale your team, and you're also going to scale your business at the same time.
100%. I think it comes back to like the very common and well-known one, the mirror analogy of us all, right? Like for the invitation to say, like, if there is something in your business that you're finding resentment towards or that you don't feel like in alignment, start with you. Like, go back and look in the mirror because when I was so frustrated at having people in the practice, then not come to the practice, say they're going to be there, then not actually be there, hire a team member, then them not be the right fit. So much of that was me and what I was actually allowing into the practice because of what I was wanting to fill within myself of like, look at me, we can be the place for everyone. Like anyone can come here and grow from me as a leader and grow from us. And who wouldn't want to be a part of this place? Look at the culture that I'm starting to create. Look at the intention behind it. Look at the softness and the safety that it is when we're here together working as a team. And look at the environment that I create for people, not only to heal from health, but heal emotionally. And like, what an energy leech that was actually, and how much that truly affected the business. Like we talk about how your team culture can so positively bleed and integrate into your business to create the essence of what your practice members or your clientele experience when they come into that space. But very easily can that toxicity and that take energy be there when you think that you're giving, but what you're actually doing is giving to take back and to fill some kind of a void within yourself or some kind of a hole or some kind of a truly ego boost, even though it doesn't feel like that because it comes. I mean, I never felt like, oh yeah, come with me so that I can feel good, but it was more of like I'm giving of this and I'm giving up this space because I want you to find hope and healing and see what an example is to work in a positive workplace and yada, yada. But what that was actually doing was really just feeding my ego of saying, good job, Marisa. Like, look at the culture that you can create here. And not knowing how that was bleeding overly into the experience of my other team members and of our business because of that lack of consistency that was present there, because people could just come in and go out like as they please, and that energy around then clients can come in and go out like as they please. And so again, like we are imperfect leaders leading imperfect human beings, and that's like the beauty. Like there's just never going to be a finalized piece of time where you have it all right and all together. Like that is the journey. That is literally the purpose, is to just continuously learn more about yourself, learn more about the people that you surround yourself with, how that teaches you about yourself and the energy and the position and the posture that you walk into, and then providing your business to a greater community area.
So thank you for joining us on another episode of the Heartwork Podcast. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to lead with heart in your business and life.
If you enjoyed this, subscribe so you never miss a release, rate our show, leave us a review, get on our VIP email list, and join our exclusive Facebook group, The Heartwork Life, to plug into our community and learn from us and other heart-led entrepreneurs on a weekly basis.
We look forward to chatting with you next time.
Bye!